Is Germany on the brink of losing the 2030s? With energy insecurity, an aging population and overdependence on exports to China, can Europe's largest economy survive the challenges ahead? Germany is at a turning point. With the fourth largest economy globally, it acts as the de facto leader of the Eurozone. The country excels in industries like chemicals, automotive, financial services, and engineering, consistently maintaining a trade surplus by exporting more than it imports. Its debt-to-GDP ratio is healthier than those of the United States, Japan, the United Kingdom, and India. Yet, Germany also faces significant challenges. Over the past 20 years, Germany has built strong economic ties with China, the European Union, and Russia. Today, these partners pose some of the greatest risks. In this video, we'll examine the issues Germany will face in the years ahead, including its energy dependency, shrinking demand for its exports, and a looming demographic crisis. Germany's reliance on exports also stems from its aging population. The country's median age is 44, older than most major powers, including the United States, China, and France. Older populations consume less and save more, contributing to labor shortages. By 2030, 30% of Germans will be over 65, potentially driving up labor costs and pension expenses. Like most developed societies, Germany's population is getting older, which means relatively more retired people and fewer workers, a combination that threatens economic growth and public finances. Policymakers have known for decades that Germany's demographics would increase its dependency ratio, the number of non-workers per worker. It's just that now it's starting to have an effect. Though innocuous sounding, the dependency ratio is a vitally important economic measure. All other things being equal, the fewer workers there are relative to the rest of the population, the higher the tax burden on each person who does work, and the lower the per capita output. The IMF predicts that Germany's annual working-age population growth rate will fall by 0.7% over the medium term. It didn't define that time frame, but it typically means single-figure years in economics, more than any other G7 country, as baby boomers start retiring and the inflow of immigrants eases. An aging population will adversely affect public finances as tax revenue growth slows and spending on pensions and healthcare rises, the organization said in its report. Germany's pension system, which dates back to 1889, relies on contributions made by currently employed workers to support retired ones. However, the ratio of working to retired people has plummeted from 6-to-1 to just 2-to-1 since the 1960s. Aging within the labor force is also a concern. While the effect varies by region and industry, there does seem to be a negative link between workers' average age and productivity growth in the knowledge economy. The labor force participation rate is expected to decline, pressuring policymakers to integrate more women and migrants into the workforce or raise the retirement age. Germany's demographic challenges also extend to its primary export market, China. Since 2016, China has been Germany's top trading partner, with trade between the two nations hitting €299 billion in 2022. According to final results, goods worth €254.2 billion were traded between Germany and the People's Republic of China in 2023, including both exports and imports. The Federal Statistical Office, or Destatus, reports that the People's Republic of China was Germany's most important trading partner in 2023 for the 8th consecutive year. Next came the United States, with a trading volume of €252.5 billion, followed by the Netherlands in third place, with a foreign trade turnover of €214.8 billion. Over 30% of German car exports go to China. For growth, Germany is overly reliant on exports, mainly to China. But this dependency also extends to imports that go into making German goods. Indeed, about 43% of German industrial sectors depend on Chinese imports. Although 81% of German manufacturers acknowledge that replacing critical inputs from China would be difficult or very difficult, the majority, around 60%, say they have taken no measure to reduce their dependency on China. That leaves Germany vulnerable to growing global trade restrictions on both the import and export sides. Germany's energy policies have compounded its problems. 20 years ago, nuclear power provided nearly a third of its electricity. However, public pressure led to the decommissioning of all nuclear plants by 2023, forcing the country to rely more on coal. Meanwhile, its dependence on Russian natural gas has proven costly. Apart from Germany's general reliance on Russian gas until the invasion of Ukraine, the country had notably departed from nuclear energy as part of its greater Energiewende, or energy transition. This shift, spearheaded by the Greens and continuing today, has not been without significant consequences both within Germany's energy market and its broader economy. Germany's decision to phase out nuclear power was initially prompted by public concerns following nuclear accidents in the United States in 1979 and Ukraine in 1986. This phase-out was cemented by the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster in Japan in 2011, which finally quieted lingering calls for renuclearization from the center-right Christian Democrats. Chancellor Angela Merkel subsequently proclaimed the end of German nuclear power. Since then, the country has worked to decommission its nuclear power plants and transition to a greener, more renewable energy supply. This policy had substantial implications for energy prices even before the post-invasion shortage. One of the main justifications for Germany's departure from nuclear power is the planned transition to renewable energy sources. A key reason why the Green Party has supported the decommissioning of nuclear power plants. While these sources are indeed more sustainable than nuclear energy, which is not renewable, German renewable energy infrastructure is nowhere near developed enough to provide stable supplies to its massive industrial base. Germany did indeed plan to invest heavily in grid infrastructure and backup capacity to ensure a stable renewable energy supply. However, the country's electricity supply is still just over 52% renewable, an impressive share, but not enough to match the needs of its energy-hungry industries. Under Chancellor Gerhard Schröder, Germany prioritized projects like Nord Stream, a gas pipeline from Russia. Critics have since questioned these decisions as Schröder's post-political career included roles with Russian energy companies. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, energy prices in Germany soared, significantly increasing costs for industries like BASF. Germany's challenges also extend to its role in the European Union. As the EU's largest economy, Germany has been central to the bloc's stability, especially during the Eurozone crisis. However, economic troubles in countries like Italy, Greece, and Spain, and inflation in Eastern Europe, pose risks to the EU's unity. A breakup of the EU would severely disrupt Germany's export-driven economy, reintroducing trade barriers and currency complexities. Even if the EU holds together, its member states face long-term challenges that could destabilize the bloc, and by extension Germany. To address its energy and demographic crises, Germany could reactivate its nuclear plants and increase immigration, though both measures face significant domestic opposition. While the road ahead is uncertain, Germany's resilience and ingenuity will undoubtedly shape how it navigates the next decade. If you found this video insightful, don't miss our deep dive into why the US can't decouple from China, the real story behind US manufacturing. We explore the complex relationship between two of the world's largest economies and what it means for global trade. Click here to watch now and get the full story.